You are listening to the Total Geek podcast. My name is Sean Bartley, and this is the return of the Trinity. I am joined by my friends.
Yo.
We are back together finally. What's it been? 2-3 episodes since the three of us have been together?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks, something like that.
Something like that, yes. And we are very excited, actually, to be back together. This has been a work in progress for the past couple of days, getting this podcast recorded for you guys. And, getting us together for the past few weeks has just been impossible with sickness and, things of that nature. But we're back. We're here.
In sickness or in health.
Exactly.
This isn't a marriage.
Oh, do not hurt me so.
Keep the nipple ring to yourself.
Wow. So I'm glad to have this banter back. I feel relieved of my duties. I don't have to talk as much because Leo is here.
You don't. That's my job.
So, since the three of us have been back together, a lot of things have happened, some of which we have already covered, but I certainly do want to get Leo's opinions on certain things. And we're going to jump into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that is a thing that happened. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 2 was this past week. Leo, you were going to get spoiled. He didn't see episode 2.
It did not happen for me.
Well, you're gonna know what happened. Not much happened, actually. Now that I mention it,
You missed nothing, sir.
I've heard that, which doesn't sound too good for the show going forward.
I actually enjoyed it. Believe it or not,
I actually didn't.
I believe it.
It sounded like a Seinfeld episode.
It
Much
felt
about
like
nothing.
a filler, really.
I mean, okay. So
what was the premise of the episode?
right? Let me break it down. So essentially, we start with, they're on the plane, the bus, if you will, and there's an explosion and people are getting sucked out of the plane and all this madness, and then it jumps back and does one of those sort of retracing the steps kind of episodes. Yeah. So basically, what you see is that they're where were they? Do you remember where they were exactly?
They were, I believe, in Peru.
Okay, they were in Peru, and
Love that place.
there's some
They had
sort
a
of
hot chick there.
yeah, there was a hot chick.
But there was.
They find this ancient artifact, right? Remember in Thor there was when
Tesseract.
It was a Tesseract infused item. Okay, so they find it, and they hook up with this woman who's the leader of a rebellion group that Agent Coulson actually used to know, and they used to do things.
Wait, I think she was with the government, not the rebellion group.
Okay, was she with the government?
Yes.
Okay, so that happens, and then they rescue them. They get rescued, and they all get on the bus. And then it turns out that she and her crew are actually betraying them and wanted to get on the bus and want to retrieve this artifact.
It was a trap.
It was a trap, indeed. So you get to see the Phil Coulson's team, the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, have to work together to come up with a way to get out of this situation because they're all trapped on this bus.
Sounds like an episode of Danger Man.
and to be honest with you, it was cool for me. I liked seeing these characters have to work together, building the team camaraderie, and getting to know these characters and their personalities.
So at this point, because since I haven't seen any of the episodes,
you haven't seen episode 1?
no.
Oh,
So at this point, they are not a fully assembled team yet.
They're getting there.
They're getting there. Okay, so this is like So is there a character they introduced to be kind of like the one scene and we're seeing it through their eyes in the or are there multiple characters?
No, there are rookies, and I recommend that you watch the episode, both episodes, because it's a lot to explain. I'm not really interested in getting into all the details, but what I will say is that all of them in one way or another are either rookies to field work or don't want to work as a team. So it's it's sort of that
trying
whole
to build tension.
exactly.
Kind of thing,
It's slowly rolling out.
Right. So I did enjoy the episode. I really liked the team building, and I really actually enjoyed the reveal. Spoilers for those of you fools who didn't watch it. The reveal that Skye really is a double agent, and that she's working for something that is bigger than we know at this point.
Even though, as a double agent,
Hydra.
she put everything out in the open and said, "Look, this is what I am," but they completely disregarded.
When did she say that?
She literally said, "Oh, I'm part of the." When she explained the Rising Tide.
Yeah, but we don't know that was true. We don't know if Rising Tide is actually a thing.
Well, I think that last scene kind of confirmed it.
Yeah, but I'm saying we don't know, as in we don't know if what she was referring to was actually a thing. She could be talking about Hydra. She could be talking about AIM. She could be talking about anything. We don't know. And the other thing is, they made it look like Rising Tide was nothing because it was her in a van.
Yeah.
But that could have been a setup to get her in. I'm pretty sure that last scene solidifies that she was working to get inside S.H.I.E.L.D.
Who wrote this episode? Was it Josh Whedon?
I actually don't know who wrote
Whedon.
this particular
It was
episode.
Whedon?
You're sure he wrote the second episode?
Yes.
All right.
He wrote the first episode?
Yeah,
Obviously.
definitely. And he directed
Eventually,
the
there'll be episodes that he didn't write. But
Yeah.
Um,
yeah, that's
and
why.
then-
As a TV show by nature, he can't write all the episodes. But,
Right.
But that's why it was interesting to know who actually wrote the episode.
Yeah.
If it was Josh Whedon or...
The final scene, okay, spoilers again, you should have watched it anyway. Nick Fury actually makes an appearance. Samuel L. Jackson
Really?
appears, yes. And it was kind of a waste, but at the same time, it was cool to see him. He basically reprimands Coulson for all that went down and for causing so much damage to the bus. Right, yeah. And it was, it was Nick Fury. It was Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury, which is him playing himself.
Mother!
You felt like he should have said that.
Yes.
You felt like there should have been an F-bomb.
Bus!
But I really enjoyed the episode. I mean, I have problems with it. I have problems with the fact that it was sort of all tied up in a neat little bow. I have problems
Paint by
with
numbers.
Yeah, it was paint by numbers. I also have problems with the fact that it's enemy of the week every week. I feel like they could do it a little bit more unique. It could be like arcs, small story arcs as a
Three,
yeah.
4 episodes.
Right, like a comic
And I know
book.
it's fantasy, but there was one huge, action sequence that I was like, really should have. No, it doesn't make any sense.
What was it?
When they used if you haven't seen it, too bad.
Yeah, forget.
Yeah, the freaking.
I
when
think we spoiled it already.
when they use the freaking life preserver boat to cover a huge hole.
That
air
was
pressure in the
crazy.
plane. It was crazy,
yeah.
but when you start thinking about it, you're like.
I instantly thought, is that even real?
And-
but I was like, but it's cool.
But after 20 seconds later, that shit should have
Yeah.
been blown apart and they all been fucked.
Yeah,
But,
I tend to agree. It was a little.
Pardon me for cursing. It's just the emotion from that. thing.
It's Harris.
Hey, I'm trying to curb the habit, man. I'm down to 5 patches a day.
I agree that was a little crazy, and then also there was a moment where I forget her name, the Asian.
What was her name?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. but
Lee Ho Shu.
No, her real name is Ming Na Wen.
Okay.
But I forget her name. It's something
You
really.
where?
Ming Na Wen.
Oh.
She used to be on ER, man.
I'm
At one point
sorry.
she was Chung Li. Come on.
I cannot remember her name.
Yeah.
But she drives the car into a hail of gunfire, and they all just get in. Like, was this car bulletproof? Did I miss something?
It's a shield card. Just let it go.
Was it a shield car?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It was a shield because it literally came into
Right.
camera the logo on it.
Right. But it was just the fact that
Bullets,
happened.
no, not to hit a shield.
Right.
Shield card.
But I have a big problem with that character because they're just using her as a plot device more than anything. Be like, hey, we need to hurry this wrong or something.
Devices on a TV show. No, Harris.
No, but I mean, it's like she's boring. She's like
She's there just to
she's
be-
only there to kind of solve certain problems and then move.
Because she's they called her the
Cavalry, which she hated.
Right, and which essentially means that anytime there was a situation where they needed somebody who knew everything and was a fighter and all that could come in and handle the problem, that's what she did. And you feel it on the show that that's her role, which is okay, except for the fact that at some point you have to address how she is this, how she's that good, and also put them in a situation that she can't just bail them out.
You guys are missing the point. The only point about this character is she hot?
Well, but she's older. She's been around.
Older.
She's
hot or
battle
older?
worn.
Yeah, she's
mean, that's
hot
not
for being
for me to
older, but
say.
they don't exploit her sexiness at all.
Right.
It's just like she's just there to be there. It's like have a hammer to have a hammer. That's it.
You got to remember, it's a Joss Whedon show, so there isn't that overtly sexual character. No character
I was
on the
being
show is
sarcastic
sexualized.
because of the TV.
Plus, it's
Right.
TV.
Nature.
When do you
Yeah.
not find attractive people?
That's
on
what
TV?
I'm saying.
No, but again, it's a Joss Whedon show, so they're they don't go down that road. I mean,
True.
if you look at Buffy, you did have
Slight glimpses of here and there.
right, but overall, it was not about.
Can
that.
be prettier than Josh Whedon.
Well,
in the show.
actually, I think that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the episode with the reservation of it hasn't hooked me yet. But with where I'm at with the show and my enjoyment of it, I liked the episode.
For a second there, I thought you were going to do the Spider-Man line.
What was that?
With great power comes great responsibility.
No.
When you did that pause, I was just like, wait, is he actually going to say that?
No, I haven't reached that point on the podcast where I'm ready to break out.
Well, it's ABC. ABC by nature is always a bit cheesy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're kind of family oriented,
Yeah.
so they're kind of a bit cheesy. So
and a very pretty show. You know what I mean? Like everything is polished and things like that, which is fine. But for Shield, because I know Shield from the comic books, I'm still expecting them to be serious. And it's very jokey.
That's not going to happen.
It's very pretty.
This is Josh Whedon.
Yeah, but
so
even then, he can draw out drama really well.
Yes, he can. But he often does that with something that he completely owns. Then you see that side of it.
Joss Whedon he seems tentative to introduce the seriousness to the show.
Yeah. Like in other shows, he had like one that I really liked a lot was Angel.
Yeah.
Which was in the beginning it was jokey, but then when it got to nitty gritty, it just blew you away.
I actually would say the reverse. I feel like that show was very gritty in the very beginning, and then it got jokey with the puppets and things of that nature.
Those were one-off episodes.
Yeah, but they were there.
Yeah, but that's
and
Josh,
Angel
that's
actually Angel as a character lightened up throughout the years. And
Yeah.
if you see the first episode and then you see where he was around season 4, it was a very different Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the character itself, but the subject matter was
But
much more serious when they were lawyers and they were actually representing
Wolfram
evil.
and Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even that's a little jokey, like, really?
Yeah,
But it gives you kind of a little reprieve after major arcs that are like, now you're emotionally drained. Let's lighten it up a little bit before we come out and just hit you again.
Yeah.
Which they did do.
I just wish that this show because this is what, a 10 episode season? Something like that, something short?
Yeah, I think maybe it's 12.
Okay, but it's a shorter.
Or they'll do something like how
it's not 22 episodes.
I think they're gonna do something what they do with other shows, that it'll be a certain amount of episodes now, and then it gets cut off for a later, like half now for this season, and then half off.
Yeah,
later.
whatever it is, it's not going to be what we're used to. It's not going to be a 22 episode season like Lost or any of ABC's other shows. So I would love for them to get to it already. I would love for them to get to the seriousness, introduce the major sort of, villain. Episodes like this, good as they may be, maybe it's too soon for that. Maybe we need to further the plot a little bit.
Yeah. And better use of foreshadowing, if anything.
Yeah. And another small thing, and then we can move on, was I don't like the way that Sky seemed so torn. It almost looked in the end when she gets that text, it looked like she was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I want to be involved in this or if I want to be with Shield."
I don't like that name.
Sky.
It's not really. It's not a real name. Though.
Yeah, that probably isn't her real name.
On the very first episode, she reveals that she erased her identity or something.
Yeah.
Because they don't know who she is. That's why she's an asset, because she was able to do stuff on a regular laptop that they can't do.
They just call her Sky for
That's
because that's what she called herself.
Exactly.
And like she's special agent Sky.
No. She's not even an agent of
Shield. She's a consultant. They even alluded to the fact that even
see what happens when you don't watch this stuff.
Exactly.
That's what happens.
But again, that was just my.
It was way too soon to do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. She's not that attached. How could she possibly be that attached?
And on the timeline of the show, it's only on the second day, so it's like second
That's
day that you're there.
Quick. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm torn on. Now I know these people for 5 minutes, and I don't know if I should be what I was before. No, that's just
they probably serve great muffins at the cafeteria, the Shield cafeteria.
Well, the bus is nice. It has all the perks. So if I were her, I would love to be on that. But I just feel that if she had a personality before she joined Shield, and she had a mission before she joined Shield, it shouldn't be that by the second episode she's already questioning her motives. But again, we'll see what happens going forward. I don't know. Staying within the realm of Marvel, Samuel L. Jackson spilled the beans that apparently Elizabeth Olsen will be playing Scarlet Witch in Avengers 2, which I'm happy with.
I have no reaction whatsoever to that news.
Okay.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Have you seen any of her work? Do you know anything about her?
Aside from Full House?
She wasn't on Full House.
No,
she's
Also
not
twins?
one of the twins.
She
she's
isn't?
not one of the
No.
twins. No,
Who is it?
she's,
No.
she's one of the
She's-
she's one of the youngers.
Yeah.
She wasn't even born where they were in Full House.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I have a completely different mental image in my head.
Wow, guys. Mary Kate and Ashley are the twins.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
Okay,
the
I'll
one-
shut up now.
The one that we're talking about, I don't think she was even born when that show was on.
I can't even mentally picture who the hell this is.
at any
Sorry.
rate, she wasn't a part of the show, and so you probably don't have too much familiarity with her.
She's done some independent movies.
Yeah, not a major
No,
actress
not
by
a-
any
no,
stretch.
No.
Which is actually part of
Probably
the
her
reason.
biggest role is going to be this one then.
Yeah, oh, without question.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I'm so happy that they cast her, because I think we already have Scarlett Johansson, a major female actress playing the role of Black Widow. So kind of getting something different for Scarlett, which is good.
My question is that are they going to have Scarlet Witch just show up on her own, or there's going to be like bridged with Quicksilver? And
No, Quicksilver is
He's attached?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Yeah, I haven't
think
really
there's
caught up to any of this. Really.
rumor that the guy that played a Kick-Ass.
Yeah, no,
It's Aaron
that's,
Johnson?
No, that's Silver Surfer. That's the rumor there.
No, I thought it was Quicksilver. No,
I
He was considered.
maybe
I
I'm
think he
wrong,
might have
but I
been.
thought I
think
read.
he's curly hair.
Aaron Johnson.
I could be totally
Yeah.
wrong, but
We'll confirm this.
yeah.
Yeah, at a later date. Just
No, we'll confirm it at this podcast. But,
Yeah.
not right now, but yeah. I don't see him so much as Silver Surfer. I see him more as a Quicksilver. I can see that, unless they completely CGI him.
Yeah, if he were gonna play any character for me, it would definitely be Quicksilver.
Quicksilver,
Yeah.
Although
yeah.
I honestly, again, with these movies and with these shows, I really want them to be a little more serious. I feel like the vibe that I'm getting from a casting like that is a little more of a jokey sort of character, a la Flash maybe, less so Quicksilver.
no, that's actually not good because Quicksilver, he's always been
A very serious.
very
character.
serious, and that's what made him great because you have Wanda to play off of that. In the comics, I know the movie is a different adaptation altogether, a different interpretation, but if you're having way too many people already on the spotlight that are joking around, you have Iron Man joking, you even have the Hulk joke.
To me, Avengers was a gag fest. It was a great movie.
You even had Bruce Banner joking. You're having way too much people doing funny lines that kind of undermine.
Again, it's Josh Whedon. He's known for that. He's gonna throw it in.
I'm just saying, scale it back a little bit. Especially that it's supposed to be a serious type of event, type of thing.
So, just for clarification, it actually is. It's confirmed now that Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing Quicksilver.
Oh, there you
so
go.
that's confirmation enough right there.
Yeah.
And again, same concern that it's gonna be a more jokey character, and I feel
I actually like the casting. Maybe they won't go that
Right.
road with a character, but I can see that actor being serious in a role.
And then, but then the other thing is the reason why Quicksilver has been so intense in the comic books is because he's a mutant, and because his father's Magneto, and he's torn.
Yeah.
And that is not going to be present in the movie. We don't even know where he got his powers from.
They'll probably rewrite his own
Right.
origin.
So when
or they just don't address it.
They won't address it. And
if they don't address it, it's kind of weird,
They
right?
probably just say that he is a mutant, but
They can't.
They can't.
No, they can't even say that word.
he's special and he has powers.
And
probably
now
what-
that's Scarlet Witch is also a mutant. Like, really?
Yeah, no, they cannot address or acknowledge that they're mutants.
That is such BS. Like,
most likely they want you. If you know, then they know that you know that he's.
Well, there's just like
They just
a
won't say
rights
it.
dispute with Fox, or
It's not a rights dispute. It's just when they gave the rights to Fox for the mutants, that was the agreement. The only reason why they're allowed to use Quicksilver
The
and Scarlet
language,
Witch is because they're not just mutants; they're Avengers, and their first appearance, correct me if I'm wrong, was actually as Avengers. I may be wrong about that.
yeah,
but-
they actually first appeared as
Right. So they're two characters who actually kind of fall into the cracks where both.
kind of like Namor.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah.
And so Fox is actually having, you guys probably know this, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, or no, just Quicksilver, in Days of Future Past, and now Avengers has both of them in Avengers 2. So
is he playing character in both movies?
no,
Oh,
they have a
they're gonna-
totally different actor.
That's actually Ouch. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is very
That would
odd.
be weird if the movies come out anyway near each other.
Right.
That's gonna be very.
It's gonna throw people off. Like if it was me and I was a Fox executive, I'd be like, go ahead and use it because all that's gonna do is get people interested in
they
other
don't
properties.
they don't have a choice in the matter. But Days of Future Past comes out next year. Avengers comes out the year after. So, if for anyone who cares that that's a thing, and anyone who even remembers, if you liked Quicksilver and Days of Future Past, all that's gonna make you want to do is see him again in Avengers.
Yeah.
So it's smart. Although I can say almost for sure that was not a thought in Whedon's head.
No, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
If the movies come very close, like they release the movie like say months apart, like 2-3 months apart, then it's gonna be weird if you go see like the X-Men movie and then you go see the Avengers movie and all of a sudden you're like, kind of like weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree, and I'm most interested in how they're going to build these characters for Avengers because we all as fans know their history, but they're being reintroduced to a new audience. So we have a retelling, a recreation of the Ultron story, and then likely a recreation of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
And most likely, their recreation is going to be, in some way, part of the Ultron.
That's possible too. It's
backstory and
we don't know, but
like the way that they probably be reworked is like we don't even know if they're even gonna be related brother and sister. They could be adopted.
That's true too. We have they might not even be related. So
they could say, "Oh, government experiment." It's just so much to speculate, and to me, it kind of gives me a little bit of headache because you have to dance around so much rich history.
Yeah.
Just to fit it into a movie,
which they will.
Right, and they haven't done that as of yet. This is correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first group of characters that they're really just relevant characters that they're changing everything we know about them in terms of their history. So you got Ultron they're changing and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Hawkeye was very changed for the Avengers to what he originally was. When
they just didn't go into his backstory.
Yeah, they just didn't say anything.
Yeah, but I don't think that character acted it. Well, it has the modern Hawkeye acts, yes, but
they made him more like a soldier.
Yeah, has the way they introduced him
as
a superhero.
Yeah, that is true.
It was very different.
That is certainly true. However, you got to also remember that he received so little focus in that movie that they could say anything about his history.
And really Hawkeye he's not a big name.
Yeah. In the grander scheme of things,
exactly.
He's not.
Even though he's been in a lot of things, but
his history can be reworked. And there's not going to be no crime.
They certainly went.
And geeks
yeah,
around the world.
They went more the Ultimates role with that character, but I think it still felt overall like a familiar Hawkeye for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was passable for me.
Yeah. He just didn't get enough screen time.
Most people were happy, or he just didn't care.
It may
he's
change.
there. He's there, and
it may change in future
let's be
roles,
happy with that.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
Back over to another Marvel film, just not made by Marvel Studios. Paul Giamatti came out and said that he's actually going to appear in Amazing Spider-Man 3 as Rhino. So he's Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2. As far as we know, he's going to suit up and everything. So with that news coming out, that leads me to believe that we could be in for the Sinister Six in Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I could say that, but me personally, I'm not looking forward to it. So.
Oh, okay. So you didn't enjoy.
You're looking forward to Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3?
No, any of it, because I saw the first one. I had mixed feelings when it came out. Then I went and watched it again 2 more times, and I just overall didn't really like it. So.
Okay.
That's my personal preference. I didn't like it.
So the more you watch it, the less
the
less you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Leo, did you see it?
I saw it when it came out. I thought it was like a more serious take on Spider-Man. I think that was obvious for anybody that watched it.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a direct influence of the Christopher Nolan films.
Sure.
And if you saw the original Sam Raimi movie, completely different tone. But I did not enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the original Spider-Man Sam Raimi. I think Spider-Man, you expect to see the humor and the light. You want your drama because the character does have that, but Spider-Man is such a humorous and lighted character compared to maybe a Batman or other characters like that. So I think by making it a bit darker, they took away some of that special keen or shine that the character has.
Yeah.
But I thought they did a good job. I thought they did a good job of reintroducing Spider-Man again. I mean, by the time Sam Raimi did Spider-Man 3, was it, or something?
That all fell apart.
Yeah, I didn't care for that either.
Yeah.
That was pretty much a joke by then.
I actually enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man very much. I feel that with that movie and Man of Steel, certainly, it's time for us as fans to let go of the fact that these movies will not address the characters as we know them, because they are reintroducing them for a modern audience. So if Superman had underwear outside of his tights,
that'd be BS.
That would be stupid. Because it looks dumb. We all know it looks dumb, but we put up with it because we love Superman, right?
Yeah, that's his iconic look.
Exactly, but it's dumb. And the modern audience is going to look at that and they're going to say, what the hell is that?
Well, it depends. I don't see it as dumb. I just see it as because...
But logically speaking, why would you even do that?
Yeah,
why would you
true.
have that?
Yeah, well, logically speaking, yeah. But there's not much logic in comic books.
But we're not talking about comic books. That's the thing.
Yeah, or movies.
I immensely enjoyed
I remember a friend of mine years ago complaining about Superman. I don't know, what was it that I think he presses down on a piece of coal and a diamond comes out. And he's like, well, I didn't believe that. I'm like, really? That you didn't believe? The guy like flies.
And he explained how
exactly.
he did it.
And that you don't believe. So, it's
But that's a little further out from what I'm talking about. I'm really talking about people. Look, for example, some people complained that Man of Steel didn't have Superman wearing underwear outside of his tights, and my thing is, who the hell cares? Number one, and number two, these characters are being reintroduced for a modern audience. People that enjoy Spider-Man today may not necessarily resonate with the original origin, and that's okay too. We do because we read it and we enjoyed it when we were young. But
no, I think what I was trying to point out was that whether he had underwear or not, outside or inside or whatever, in that costume, I really didn't care if I see it or not.
Exactly. It ultimately it doesn't matter, and I think that these movies are being made to really rope in newer audiences.
Oh, obviously. It's not for us.
Right. Well, it is for us. But just
partially.
Yeah. The introduction may not be for us.
No.
But again, how many times do you really want to see the same origin?
If you're a 16-year-old kid and you see a superhero with his underwear outside, like you're saying, you're gonna say he's stupid.
Yeah.
To me, it's business as usual.
Yes, but you're familiar with that.
That's what the point I was trying to put out. That to me, it wouldn't bother me either way.
Yeah.
Obviously, for modern audience, people that looks stupid. Why, well, he's an alien. God knows, maybe that's what they do.
That's how they get down.
Yeah.
But so that's why I'm saying I think aesthetically speaking, and I think in terms of the writing and the directing and such, Amazing Spider-Man was done well. I feel. Where you can maybe have gripes is where they change things, like Uncle Ben's death, for example, and
him not saying the line.
Yeah, certain things like that. There were many fans who had problems with that, and I understand it, certainly. But I say, let's give these things a chance and disassociate yourself with your prior knowledge.
Yeah, you just have to. You have to watch these movies for what they are.
I'm gonna watch them. I'm just not looking forward to them.
Right.
Yeah. Well.
Well,
hopefully they don't disappoint us and surprise us, and they do a good job.
Very much true.
Exactly. So I thought that Paul Giamatti sort of coming out with that was interesting, and given that we're getting
and I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. That's like an odd casting choice too. That guy for Rhino.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get that at all.
Even though they'll CGI and
they're gonna have to,
and it could be just his face and the animatronic type of CGI suit.
I think that's what they're doing because they just can't go with his body type.
Very odd for him, and the way that they already showed what type of the little information they gave of what he is was kind of off for me.
What was the information?
That he's this Russian type of thug type of guy.
That's what Rhino is.
Really?
Yeah.
The original Rhino?
What is the original Rhino if not a Russian thug?
The original Rhino, I don't think he was that. He was just this schlub that, you know.
I don't know much about Rhino.
Much like how they made the Scorpion. They
those are characters that those are King. Was he a Daredevil?
Rhino?
Rhino's a Spider-Man.
It's always been a Spider-Man villain, and that was that time when they had J. Jonah, just making people.
Yeah, but he was one part of those.
Well, that's not Rhino's origin though. That's Scorpion's origin.
Yeah. I thought it was similar, but
he came from that time of Hammerhead and Kingpin.
Oh, don't get me started on Hammerhead. That's like one of
those characters.
The worst characters I've ever heard in my life.
That's a cool nickname, Hammerhead.
Yes, I have an adamantium flat head.
The nickname is cool. The actual character
is just terrible.
Yeah. I honestly am very happy, and I'm not gonna really sit on Amazing Spider-Man too long because I obviously know you guys aren't too big of fans, but
true.
I'm happy that we're getting to see villains that we didn't get to see in the last series. So we're getting we got Lizard, we're getting Electro, we're getting Rhino. These are sort of, you know, not quite his A-list villains. I'll put it that way.
Well, if they're gonna do Sinister Six, maybe Chameleon.
Right, and we can get all of those guys, right? And maybe Green Goblin can lead the Sinister Six, and then we get our major villain, and then these sort of smaller guys surrounding him. I think that's great.
By the way, I think they did a good job with the Lizard in that movie.
I do too.
I liked him.
I didn't. He looked like a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't play Super Mario, so
no, the horrible
means the movie.
It means the movie.
Oh. Wow, you remember that?
I love that movie. I will come out and say it right now.
Hey, it was terribly good. It was so terrible, it was actually good.
Come on, that scene when they're in the elevator and they get the Goombas to dance, that was fantastic.
Yes, no, it was terrible.
Come on.
It was so terrible, it was enjoyable. Come on. You can't watch the movie without freaking smiling.
I can never finish watching that movie. I fell asleep when I was a kid watching it, and I still fell asleep when
I see.
Yeah.
So then I have no words for you, friend.
Call him Mr. Sand. Change the title.
Moving right along, DC.
Wow, DC.
DC. Oh, and I must say, the streak has been broken. This is the second week in a row that we did not start the show talking about Batman.
Or Ben Affleck.
Or
Matt
Damon.
Oh, look, Man Crush has returned. It's official.
Yeah, right? I didn't say Ben Affleck. You did, friend.
And he immediately went to Matt Damon. Notice that.
I said Matt Damon.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Shoot.
I want my money back.
DC has announced that they will be airing a Constantine show. And this show will be airing on NBC. So never mind necessarily how you feel about it, because I actually think this is a good idea. Let's get your feelings. How do you feel?
I am a great fan of the Constantine character. I still read the comic right now, which Gerard Way is writing. I don't know about having a TV show on NBC because NBC's track record with superhero shows right now is not good. Or any real fantasy show on NBC.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I think this is a great idea. It gives DC a chance of putting out a character out there that's not a straight out superhero character.
Yeah.
And they can go so many ways with this. They can go with obviously you're gonna have the supernatural thing. But you can also go with the I guess kind of like finding
artifacts.
Yeah, finding artifacts, or finding people.
Yeah.
Or there's so many things you can do with this character and this story that I think it's a great idea. It's kind of like the same thing with Gotham. I mean, you can branch it out in so many ways that the most important thing is they do a good job on the writing.
Yeah,
and the character's very well represented. If they do that, then nobody's gonna care. Well, they would just watch it.
They have a lot to resources to get from that character. That character has a very
and again, it's a character that is only being exposed once in a movie that surprisingly a lot of people do like.
I like it.
I liked it.
Yes, we saw it in the theater.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
I liked it.
Still quote lines to this day.
Yes, I liked it, and it was played by somebody that obviously I thought it was miscast.
Yeah,
Still miscast.
It didn't exactly 100% represent.
But at least he performed well enough that it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable movie. It was one of those movies that you go out of the movie theater and say, like, my God, what have I just watched?
Why did I
enjoy it?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have liked it, but wow, I came out satisfied.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that every time it's on the TV, you stop and you watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely resonate with your points about the show. I think that it's a great opportunity. But here's the problem, right? So you have Arrow on CW, you have Gotham on Fox, and now you have Constantine on NBC. So we've all been talking about this shared universe stuff. Is this still possible?
No, I don't think so.
Actually, I do, because unlike Marvel, they're not giving exclusive rights for each show.
But in order for them to use Arrow, for example,
they have
Constantine,
permission, but they do not have the exclusive rights to it.
So what you're telling me is that Arrow could appear on NBC. That actor could actually appear as that character on NBC.
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, I highly doubt it, to be honest.
I don't think.
Wait. It may be that you can't see on TV, but they could probably show up in a film together.
That's another matter.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, can these characters coexist on television?
Are you talking about Constantine and Arrow?
Constantine, Arrow, and Gotham, whatever that ends
you
up
probably
being.
cannot do it because
the timeline is very.
The timeline will completely throw it off.
Right.
Because of the fact that Jim Gordon is a much older man than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And if it's truly a shared universe like DC, it's hammering it up that it's going to be, then the Gotham thing either is going to be it's going to be a time period kind of thing piece, or Jim Gordon is going to be in a point where he's much older, and in the modern Gotham.
Well, I think we can pretty much say it's confirmed that it's going to be about a younger Jim Gordon, right?
Yeah. Well, then I don't know how they're going to wing it.
Okay, I just thought of something. Something that just occurred to me now. We're in New York City, and I've been to different states, and I watch TV. I don't think it's down to the network. It's down to the production company who distributes it. Because you could watch Arrow here on Channel 11, which is CW here, but you'll go into like Texas or something, and that'll be on ABC. So, the TV shuffles are kind of different depending on which state and which stations are there.
Nah, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It won't be Channel 11, but it'll be the CW.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, regardless of that, regardless of how other people or where they're going to watch it, it has to make sense if they show up. If they team them up or
how they tie in.
Or how they tie in. Exactly. So it has to make sense. I don't think Gotham is going to tie in with anything in Arrow.
You're probably right.
And probably nothing to do with Constantine. Now, I can see Constantine.
An Arrow
crossing over at some point or some reference. It'll be cool if they don't necessarily reference the heroes, like we have to meet. But if they have maybe one character that bounces off from one show to another, and it gives you like, well, or he's in 4 episodes in another, 2 episodes in the other, and there you see like a consistency. Like, I can see how this character
to bolster each other's shows.
Yeah, bounces from one universe from one show to another, and then you say, well, they obviously then they have to share the universe because this guy is present in both shows. I can see that.
And actually, a great character to play that role is Amanda Waller.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You can have a younger Amanda Waller working with a young Ian Gordon, and then reference her again in the future with a Arrow and what.
That's a nice tie-in, yeah.
And what a Constantine.
She could actually be the linchpin of the television DC universe.
Correct.
That could happen.
And before the rise of the supervillains and the supervillains with powers, she was going against these big monsters with Jim Gordon, and then later on, she's part of the modern DC universe with Arrow and Constantine.
Right.
Also deals with supernatural, which is another thing she has to deal with.
Yeah.
As being the
also Suicide Squad does not exclusively belong in any other title. They could appear anywhere.
I would love to see a Suicide Squad.
They already appeared in Arrow.
No, but a TV show, like a full-blown TV show.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, but I guess you would have to build to that, really.
So the other wrinkle in this is that there is a Justice League Dark movie that's been talked about a lot by
Guillermo del Toro. I think is writing it.
And he's saying that's a thing that's happening. So if they use Constantine on the show, how does that affect the movie? Will they reference it? Will it be the same character, or will they have no relation?
I think it all depends if the show's successful or not.
Yeah. Right.
Or if the show's successful, it'll be an easy transition.
Well, it'll be cool if they tomorrow.
But if it's not successful, you're gonna have a different actor and a different type of Constantine.
Yeah, that could happen. But it'd be cool if tomorrow they announce like Guillermo del Toro will be the producer of the Constantine show or something like that.
For continuity's sake.
Yeah, for continuity sense.
True.
Yeah, at least there's some behind the scene connection that there's.
And it leaves it fresh in people's minds that he's involved in this, so don't have some tie to this and this.
Exactly.
Right. My thing is that you were saying that if the show doesn't do well, then maybe they don't address it. The problem is that once you start a shared universe, you can't really just pick and choose what you don't want to acknowledge. So, for example, let's say Thor: The Dark World performs.
They will do it though.
But hear me out. Let's say Thor: The Dark World performs miserably, beyond measure. But something in that movie that happens is incredibly important to the shared Marvel universe. They can't just ignore that movie happened.
True.
It's a movie that took place, so they have to acknowledge it, even if nobody saw it. So if DC goes the same direction, granted they're just starting this, but if the show exists with the intention of connecting, if that connection takes place, they cannot ignore that it happened.
Yeah, well, the only way that Marvel can ignore what happens in Thor, even if it fails with bombs or whatever happens, is if the same actor, they don't use the same actor. And you're like, what? It's not. What's his name? Chris
Hemsworth.
Well, it's not him, and they just hire another guy to be Thor. Well, all of a sudden, and you're like, wait, what happened?
I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Exactly, but as long as they have the same character, even if it's a bad movie, nobody saw it. It happened to the same actor.
There's actually a more plausible way to say they could ignore it. They could just say, "Hey, it was just Thor's own thing, side story."
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
But no, you guys are missing my point. I'm saying something happens in Thor that is a major plot moment for the Marvel universe. Even
you mean in the story itself?
Yeah, even if Thor bombs, you cannot ignore that event took place. It won't bomb, but
No, hopefully they will not ignore it.
Yeah. Well, they could do whatever they want, but what I'm saying is that it would be stupid.
I
agree. But I don't think that movie's gonna bomb.
No, certainly not.
It has so much of a strong cast, and whatever has been shown already, people are excited. So.
It looks really good.
They most likely are gonna misuse the Natalie Portman again.
I have a feeling that she's gonna die in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling that she's gonna cry in this movie.
I can confirm that she's gonna cry in this movie.
There's a 99% chance.
There hasn't been a single movie.
She will cry this movie.
There hasn't been a single movie she's been in that she has not cried in. That even includes that horrible movie, Your Highness. So just letting you know.
I have no idea what movie you're talking about.
I love that movie.
Okay. I feel like you guys should probably talk about that amongst yourselves.
Yes, Your Highness.
But I guess with this DC Universe thing, since it hasn't really kicked off, we kind of don't know what direction they want to go.
Yeah. We're really grasping at straws here right now.
Yeah.
We said it before. Until these things come out, it's all just our speculation.
Right. Yeah. For sure. So we can probably just jump right into comics. Really like a mild week.
Yeah, very mild.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books, but nothing.
Well, you've been missing out, right? So you had to pick up.
Yeah, so I had to pick up and a lot of the stuff that I haven't read before.
Yeah.
But I've been reading a lot of independent stuff, which it's pretty good. It's been my one saving grace. I haven't been able to pick up the major books, but there's a lot of independent stuff that has come out. Saying that, Forever Evil 2 came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually enjoyed it more than I did the first one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think it has many strong moments, but overall, I did like it a bit better than the first one.
Well, one thing that I really enjoyed about the issue was that it furthered the plot effectively, leaving us still questions about what's happening.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
A month of speculation with Marvel and Battle of the Atom. We'll talk about it later. Yeah. But those issues come out every week.
Yeah.
So you barely think about it because the next week it's here.
Yeah.
With this, it's like you have to stew on what you read, and it builds anticipation. So with this issue, I was like, oh, I'm really excited to dive into this, and then it didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
So now I'm even hungrier for the next.
Yeah, you're looking forward for Forever Evil issue 3.
There was a lot of hooks in that book that I was just like, yes.
And exactly, and a lot of moments where it was like, wow, this feels earned, not only earned,
Yes.
but cool.
They hit like almost a lot of the right notes. There were characters where you're like, wait, we already know these villains are gonna be great, but then you see the evil Flash, the evil Adam do something, and then you'd be like, oh, now we see why they're on this team. They did something fantastic, like right when you saw them in action.
So, since I know that you are very excited for this
Yes.
book, I'm going to give you the floor, and you can just break it down, and, feel free to spoil
Break it down.
All right. Spoilers! But
That was loud.
but I mean, in Forever Evil, pretty much the story, it picks up from the very first book, picks up a few notes from the little tie-ins from Villains Month, but it actually addresses almost every single thing, which is great. They address Kandak and Black Adam. They don't mention by name, but it said he's going to be a problem.
Yes.
You have Lex Luthor.
The rogues.
Yeah, the rogue galleries. Lex Luthor addressing what he has to do. You have...
Well, what did Lex Luthor do?
Oh, apparently he had a project stowed away that he knew it wasn't going to come to fruition, and then he had to sped up. He even says that it's not complete. He needed 5 more years, and lo and behold, it's Bizarro.
Yes, it is.
Which was great.
The moment where he puts on the suit.
And he says, wait, you're putting it inside out. Oh, no, forget it. And he
Yeah.
even explains his battle suit enough where you don't realize why he did what he did before in other comics, like why he wanted Cord Industries.
Right.
And he didn't get it. And apparently that was actually a plus because that weapon is pretty much ineffective now for him to have it. But it hit so many great notes. It showed involvement of other teams trying to step up and how they quelled that situation.
Oh, yeah.
Details.
And they had Bart Allen, which is famously known even at the reboot. They still from the future. And you have Johnny Quick. Apparently his manipulation speed force is greater. He was able to manipulate it so far to send them back to where he came from. Atomica went into Wonder Girl Light or Wonder Woman Light.
Wonder Gal.
Yeah, went into her and knocked her out by doing. It doesn't fully explain, but
oh, that sounds so different in my mind. Continue.
Okay, it's gonna get pretty dirty here. She went into her mouth and came out of her mouth, and that's the end of her. And they just triumphantly stood under a ton of chaos.
Yes.
And just went on hunting for more people.
Right.
Yeah.
They addressed the relationship between the crime syndicate. They did this great thing about Power Ring and what's wrong with him.
Elaborate.
Power Ring, if people don't know about Earth 3 or Earth 2, no, Earth 3 to be more exact, he is a Green Lantern of that universe. But in that one, it's not a regular Green Lantern ring. It's a magical ring that has a curse along with it. Now, the great thing of the writing of this one, they made it to a point that it's actually hurting him.
It's killing him.
No, you don't know if it's that, or it's turning him into something. Because Death...
What is Death Storm?
Death Storm, yeah.
Death.
They show that he's a professor or whatever, and he's monitoring his condition, and he says, and Power Ring is afraid, and he says, no, you have another week, you're fine.
No, but I like the way he said it. It's very different. He kind of looks to him and says like,
and he holds him back.
let's give it another week.
Yeah, I like
kind of
that.
like, let me see you suffer a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That's like get off on this.
Yeah, they reveal the malice. They show how Owlman is attached to Nightwing, even though it's not his own Nightwing.
Yeah.
There's a mystery.
Talk about Alfred and the.
Yeah, there's a mystery person that they have drugged in case to handle something that they said that is the ominous feeling that it may have destroyed their world and why they came here in the first place.
Yeah.
So
and
what?
Apparently, we're having a baby too.
So what is this huge thing? What is this thing that they're afraid of? That they have this drugged whoever it is under watch until that thing comes.
I don't know why, but I felt that was their Lex Luthor. For some reason, that was the feeling that I got.
Well, they kept on saying he did something to us and we should kill him for it.
I feel like he probably was with them and then betrayed them somehow.
There's just a lot in this book.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't shown their a version of Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, but there's also that conversation where they're saying, "Well, I'm pretty sure this whatever through us of our own world, has come with us,
right? Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it, Dark Side?
Well, I interpreted that as them talking
Doomsday?
about that person that was in the room that they had hooded and tied up. That's how I interpreted it.
Okay.
But you hit on something. This was a very deep book. This book had a lot of stuff happening, a lot of wheels turning quickly.
Stoves.
Yeah,
especially the ending.
Yes.
Oh.
The ending was very.
Go ahead.
Remember, we were all thinking, what the hell happened to the Justice League? And apparently, not all of them are dead. Except Batman was bringing in Victor Stone's body for his father to revive him, along with Catwoman out of all people, and puts him on the table, and they ask point blank to Batman, what happened to the rest of the Justice League? And solemnly, the last line is, they didn't make it.
Right.
Yes.
So
they didn't make it to here where he's at.
No, but it may mean that
right. It could mean a lot of
but
things.
it kind of confirms there may be some absolute depths. There's some people that may not come back.
Oh, we know Aquaman is alive.
That's true, but maybe Superman is dead because when you left him off, he was there with Wonder Woman.
Superman is
Poison.
not dead.
Superman's not.
Come on, yeah, but he's one of those characters. Oh, even if I die, I come back.
In fact, I bet you $1 none of them are. But that's a different story.
But you know what though?
I'll buy that for
it was a very serviceable, very cool last page. That
Yes.
even though we as fans know they're not dead, it still made me ask myself, oh, you know, expletive what is this?
Yeah.
You know,
They
But
tease
what
you
happened?
enough relationships,
Right.
all this stuff, and you're like, how is this going to be exploited? How is going to interact? Even in relationships with Ultraman and Superwoman and Owlman, how those three
the dynamic there.
Yeah.
and you
how-
saw that which I thought they had a throw that they have erased in the dynamic of Owlman, Ultraman, and Superwoman, their love triangle.
No, they brought that back.
No, they
which was
brought
amazing.
and they brought it back kicking and screaming.
Yes.
Like
Right.
literally 9 months kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Which was
Miles is off.
great.
It's a boy.
So yeah, what they're referring to is that Owlman actually impregnated Superwoman, you know, at some point, and they've been holding this secret from Ultraman, who is Superman, so he's gonna know that.
And
you know,
he's highly jealous of their relationship, so he
Yes.
doesn't want them close
but
to each other at all.
they're together though,
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah.
they?
Who?
Ultraman and Superwoman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's cheating on him, and you're gonna see this.
I think they're together not by she's there not by choice.
Yeah, but
Not
at any
Ultraman.
rate, they're together. So
Yeah.
what you're gonna see for sure is a breaking down of the crime syndicate from within. So we got the rogues coming for them. We have Batman and his little clique. We have Lex Luthor and
Black Manta.
Bizarro, Black Manta, Black
Lex
Adam.
Luthor.
You know, so many characters that are coming for them, and they themselves are falling apart.
Yeah. The formation of the Injustice League just taking them down, like that's just gonna blow me away.
Well, that was an announcement, right? That was made that the Injustice League is going to be a thing.
I think they didn't say specific Injustice League, but they
No.
Didn't they say the words Injustice League?
I swear I
yes!
saw that in a preview or a conversation online somewhere.
Oh, that's tops.
So that's a book that's doing the right things for
I
an
agree.
event.
Yeah.
I agree.
For an event, that's the kind of event that we
And
are fans of, and that we want
Done
them
right.
to
And it's
put
kind
in.
of executed the right way. If you have not read anything in Villains Month, please read Ocean Master.
that I did not read.
Please read Black Adam. They pretty much get into it.
Yeah. So I again I liked it. Now here's an event that we might not all agree on, and that's Battle of the Atom Chapter 6, I believe.
6, yes,
Yeah.
that's the latest.
Let me go first here.
Again?
Yes. Again.
He's on a roll today.
Yes, he is. Go for it.
Chapter 6. Me and Sean had this thing about last episode, but this kind of solidified for me. I'm not reading it anymore.
Wow.
It's that bad that I actually lost my taste of it, and I washed my hands clean of that thing, of that entire arc.
I witnessed that.
Literally 4 to 5 pages in, Leo, as a witness, saw me say, I am done with this book. I continued reading just to be informed, but it was so... Oh, God, no.
It could have been worse than the Joker's daughter book.
That was atrocious.
Yeah, that's true, but
That was bad.
but it was just bad book of the week. Sorry.
Okay. So you hated it, Leo?
I did not hated it. I did not love it. I found it to be just another book that just keeps lagging along. And even though they introduced some characters, some X-Men from the future that I never heard of, or for no reason I don't care about them. I don't know. I for an event, I didn't find it eventful in any way, shape, or form.
Damn right.
So Believe it or not, guys, I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it.
Really, after what we had like last issue?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
I loved it.
But you like Mario Brothers, so.
Oh. Well, so does he, but he hates Battle of the Atom.
Yeah.
So, my thing is this. The last issue, it's like, oh God, do we need another team introduced?
Yeah, that's what I felt.
All that stuff. This episode was just cool, all right? We got Allison Blair as the president. Like, what?
Dazzler.
That's incredible, right? Dazzler as president. And Beast with his horns.
Why
and
Dazzler?
his cool...
Of all people?
Because Brian Bendis,
They explained it right in the very first page. She is the most popular mutant. She was a famous pop star.
Right.
Makes sense for her to be the public figure because everybody still likes her even if she's a mutant because she had that pop star.
Yeah, that was like in the 70s, man.
Right.
And like they said, Disco made a comeback.
But
she does say it.
Then you get this moment that sort of reminds you and encapsulates what the mutant struggle really is. You get this moment where she gets assassinated, all right? And
by demons.
And dragons.
But whatever, I don't know what that was. Likely we'll find out, but maybe we won't. Ultimately, we know that they were attacked, and that you see the schism. You see the schism between the X-Men of the future, and you see that they're still going through the same crap. Even though they got their woman in as president, they're still going through the same crap, and you understand why the X-Men from the future that are already, in the timeline that we're familiar with are saying to them,
get back.
Get back. And so all these things take place, and I really, really enjoyed that moment. And then going forward, you get to see the new school, the future school that is. You get to see Colossus with a awesome beard. What's that called again?
No, he has that Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah, awesome.
And flying and with a soul sword, apparently.
Because his sister gave it to him. And all these things that we're not sure about. Like, why is Iceman a wizard?
He turned to Gandalf.
Why is he Gandalf,
Well, they show that he's kind of schizophrenic.
Well, I didn't even pick up on that. But
didn't?
No. But
he was talking to a construct of his.
Okay,
time.
He's a psycho.
Yeah.
Wait, was he? He was talking to younger Iceman.
Yeah.
That was a construct of his.
No, it wasn't. He was talking to younger Iceman and went to the future. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was so poorly drawn. I thought it was just him making a snowman.
He does allude to some sort of power that he will develop. Right. Where he might be able to break himself into different beings.
And why? Even as a wizard, he looked like the serpent.
He kind of did. He looked like a cold version of the serpent.
I'm the serpent, but cold.
But I really felt that this issue was just fun. It was a lot of fun. And of course we have to go back and we have to get drawn back into the drama that I feel is unnecessary. But just because this book comes out once a week, and because it's nearing the end, I just enjoyed this issue. If this came out once a month, I would have a totally different opinion.
Is this like 12 issues or 8 or?
I believe it's 10.
If I would have not read Forever Evil, I probably would have enjoyed this one better.
Well, I actually read this last. This was the last book in my stack that I read. Because I forgot about it, to be honest with you. Yeah. Because I had a sour taste in my mouth from the last issue. But again, I really I enjoyed it tremendously, and I thought it was fun. And I don't typically have fun with a lot of these books, but this was one that I just enjoyed.
I enjoyed the hell out of the artwork of it.
Oh yeah, very.
Well, I don't disagree with that. The artwork was really good. I just really didn't like the writing.
Stuart Ioman or something like that.
Stuart Immonen.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is 10. It is 10 issues total.
It is 10 issues. And they're at issue 6, as we still really don't know what the hell's happening.
Right.
So I guess that's our major gripe with the event.
Yeah, and I suppose all my gripes are still there, but because this issue took a detour and showed us just something that was so fresh and cool, I really enjoyed it.
I think if it would have come out last week,
if it was right,
if I would have not read Forever Evil, then I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit better.
So why did Forever Evil sort of taint this for you?
Well, because it was so awesome compared to.
It raised the standard.
Yeah, I kind of like, okay, I read Forever Evil. Now I'm gonna read X-Men Battle of the Atom, and it's kind of like, it's not okay.
It's nowhere near on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
okay.
If I would have read it a week earlier, then I might have said, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I probably would have given it a higher grade or.
Right. Well, just we're pretty much winding down at this point. I just want to make an announcement. I've talked about the pull list quite a few times, and yet there hasn't actually been an episode placed on YouTube or anywhere that you guys can find it. I've been having trouble getting those episodes up, technical issues and such. So for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna stop recording them until I can be sure that I can actually get them up. So I'm gonna shelve those, and I'll start, with the programming once I can reliably put it out. And that's
and technical issue means we don't know how to use a goddamn computer.
well, yeah, I mean, just getting things
Still
together.
new to
This
this,
is
people.
super grassroots. We're
Yes.
just fans and creators who want to do this.
Correct.
So, that's what it
You're
boils
learning
down to.
with us.
Exactly right. So, that being said, we will be at Comic-Con.
Yes, we will. A lot of exciting.
I
news
definitely
with
will
that.
be there Friday and Saturday.
I'll be there probably Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Leo's going to be there
I'll be
Thursday.
Thursday and at the Carmen Comics booth, which I should have wrote it down the number. But I will be there.
It'll be nearby the Marvel booth, I
believe
believe.
so, yeah.
So I'll be there and Leo will be there. Harris unfortunately won't be able to join us, but we'll be there. And if you hear this and you want to stop by and say hello, that's awesome. We are happy to talk. We'll probably be doing interviews and such. So if you want to say a word about what your favorite comic book coming out is or whatever, feel free, and we're gonna have a great time. So look out for that.
Yeah, and it's easy to find me. I'm the most handsome man with a ponytail in the whole Comic Con.
And I'll be the guy haunting Artist Alley the entire time.
There you go.
So once again, this has been Sean Bartley.
Leo.
Harris.
And you have listened to the Total Geek Podcast. Thanks a lot for listening, guys, and we will be back really soon.
Affleck.
Couldn't let that go, could you?
No.
Never.